Heterosexism is an assumption of heterosexuality and that the heterosexual perspective is the predominant or only meaningful viewpoint in a society. Heterocentrism creates an ideology in America's culture. This ideology is an assumption that all people are heterosexual. This creates the idea that opposite-sex attractions and relationships are the only norm and therefore are superior. Heterosexism is implemented into the American system. The system is based on attitudes, bias, and discrimination in favor of opposite-sex sexuality and relationships. It gives privileges to heterosexual people and disadvantages to those who are not. So, homophobia is the manifestation in America's culture. This manifestation instills fear, discomfort, or hatred of non-heterosexual people on the individual level. Homophobia is an irrational fear of gay and lesbian people or fear of same-sex relationships. In its most extreme form, homophobia is a hatred for or violence against LGBT+ persons. Heterosexism oppression is the use of power to deprive LGBT people of their human rights and to unjustly exclude them from functioning normally as members of society.
I'm Morgan, and I am cisgendered, and I'm a heterosexual. My parents were divorced twice. I went through 2 different divorces, and both times they remarried, and they are also heterosexual. I have no homosexual members in my family, either in my extended family or in my inclusive family. My sister's best friend in high school, I got to know him when I was in middle school. And I love him dearly, and he was a great influence on me as a young teenager. I grew up in a hate community that really promoted the stigma. I knew a lot of negative people who said negative things about the homosexual community. Media also manipulated me growing up, and I also watched a lot of Disney movies that promoted the princess and the princess lifestyle.
I identify as gay or lesbian. I identify as a person of color. I'm Black. Sometimes I identify as genderqueer, which means like sometimes I feel like more of a guy, sometimes I feel like more of a girl, sometimes I feel like neither. And then also like non-binary, just like I don't try to, or I don't want to fit into the gender binary.
I'm Allie. I identify as a cisgender heterosexual female. I grew up in a family with heterosexual parents who later divorced and remarried into heterosexual relationships. It was not until my freshman year of high school that a person in my itsy-bitsy sized community came out as being homosexual. This was the first time in my school's history that a homosexual couple accompanied each other to the prom. Throughout my life, I have been primed by the media I view and the toys I play with, like Barbies, to be interested in heterosexual relationships.
My name is Kaylee. I am a cisgendered heterosexual female. My PGPs are she, her, hers. I have 2 heterosexual parents who are divorced, and my dad remarried into another heterosexual relationship. Growing up, stereotypical gender roles were really promoted in my family. I really loved watching movies such as Grease and Bring It On, and that promoted me to want to be a cheerleader and fulfill those stereotypic roles. I was told a lot more towards middle school and high school that I needed to dress girly. In 8th grade was the first time a student that went to my school came out as homosexual. He was actually ridiculed so bad that he ended up pulling the fire alarm to get out of school the day that happened. Some other things that stereotypic roles that were promoted in my family were ideas like be a man. My brother was told that a lot, and I was told that I shouldn't play boy sports when I wanted to play basketball.
So I haven't always been aware of my gender identity, but I've always noticed that I'm not seen as the norm. Like when I was little, I was definitely a tomboy. I didn't like Barbies. I would always play sports. I liked basketball and football and soccer. My room definitely looked like it was a little boy's room. So even from an early age, like I knew that I was defying, I guess, gender norms and inadvertently heteronormativity as well, since I did end up being gay. But I didn't obviously pay attention to any of that until I got to college, actually, when I started noticing more like what identities I hold and how it all plays a part in society, and how just like the heteronormative society, the just the whiteness of society, the straightness of society, um, the gender boxes that they like to put everybody in, the gender binary. So that's something that I notice because it's hard not to when I have this identity. And then obviously my Black identity is always prevalent and something that I notice, because how can you not?
One way to fight against society's heterosexist viewpoints is to become an ally. There are 4 levels of becoming an ally. The first level is to become aware that the heterosexist viewpoint is infiltrated throughout your society. We witnessed that earlier with media's portrayal of what a romantic relationship is. After, be sure to educate yourself so you can further the knowledge of others in your society. In doing so, you may not change everyone's viewpoint, but you will probably get people thinking. The next step is to gain skills. In order to gain skills, you should surround yourself with people in the LGBT+ community. Lastly, take action. Join a club that promotes the LGBT+ community, but most importantly, be sure you're an active member. Being an ally is crucial for a more peaceful society, because we know that we win when love wins.